This week, CIG released a 3.23 patch to the PTU that had an improvement to how very high clouds look and perform. So now are very high clouds accessible to everyone in Star Citizen. Let's take a look with a 4080 at 4K and my minimum spec recommendation, the 1660 at 1080p. To catch you up, if you didn't watch the last video, we looked at performance across 3.23 and part of that was looking at the clouds. We've got the new reference clouds, which are now called photo mode. And I said I didn't really understand why that was in, but obviously it is for photos, it is for screenshots. So thank you to everybody who pointed that out in the comments. Performance of this was not really particularly good, and still very high clouds it's just impossible really to run on anything with the 4080 here, less than 25 FPS. But we've seen this update. CIG have adjusted volumetric clouds very high settings for better visual results and performance. With recent improvements to the half-res atmosphere and cloud render mode, we've been able to switch to this mode instead of rendering in full res and significantly increase the number of ray marching steps for this setting, resulting in much improved visuals while greatly decreasing the runtime cost on the GPU. So what does that mean? Does that actually translate? Forgive the crazy colours in this graph, but we've got the new patch in green. You see, if you look at the very high clouds, that there has been a performance improvement versus the previous patches. So we've gained maybe 3.5 FPS, but we don't see that across any of the other cloud settings. Medium clouds, high clouds basically perform exactly the same, and reference versus photo mode is effectively still exactly the same. The big elephant in the room with all of this though is going to be upscaling. I'll show you here a graph which includes very high clouds upscaled with DLSS quality. Now this is getting much more playable. We're back up to nearly the same results as high. Let's now see if we can find any visual difference between the old version of very high and the new version. Here is the old version, 300% zoom. Now this isn't a perfect comparison because of the time of day, but as we switch across to the new version, there's still quite a lot of kind of fuzziness around the clouds. But then actually when you put DLSS on, that seems to clear up quite a lot. Lots of people responded to the last video saying actually Horizon isn't necessarily the best place to see the new cloud changes. So I've flown over to Microtech and we'll see here with the new patch, we've got very high first of all, and you can definitely see in the clouds kind of the noise, and then very high with DLSS on. Again, it's not particularly much better here in this case compared to the Horizon where it was cleared up in Horizon for some reason. And then reference, which does look basically perfect. So last time I couldn't really see the difference massively at Horizon, but here in this case you can see the reference clouds are hugely improved versus very high, but obviously they are really for screenshots, and really I guess that's why CIG have called it photo mode. Let's take a look with the 1660, which is my minimum spec GPU recommendation for this game. You'll see here on the graph at Horizon again at 1080p, really medium is as high as you'll want to push this, and clouds off is giving quite a big boost, more than I remember, so interesting there. Nothing past medium could be really recommended. Even high doesn't look much better, and I think you prefer the extra frames at high, and obviously very high and photo mode. Again, photo mode might be useful for screenshots, but it's not going to be useful for gameplay. So things have changed. This change that CIG have made didn't really massively move the needle on performance of very high clouds, but whack on some upscaling and you should see decent performance depending on your GPU.